Welcome back to Who Told You I Fell? I'm Cynthia Marissa, and today's Friendship is Magic segment might make you tear up a little because we're talking about animals. Not in a what's your favorite dog breed kind of way, but in the way they show up for us emotionally and spiritually. Because sometimes when the world feels too loud, it's not a person who holds you together. It's the soft weight of a cat in your lap, the look your dog gives you when you're spiraling, the peace of brushing a horse or watching a rabbit stretch out in the sun. There's something there, and it feels a lot like friendship. So, for background, I've lived with animals my entire life. My childhood was basically a petting zoo. We had 8 or 9 animals living in the house at one point, and I'm not even including the ones that lived outside, like goats, horses, chickens, pigs. You name it, I've probably fed it, pet it, or at the very least smelt it. As smelly as these creatures get, their calming presence always grounded me. Even when life didn't feel safe or stable, I could walk outside and find a fur baby that just existed with me. They weren't asking anything from me besides probably to be fed. They weren't judging me. They were just there. And when you're a kid trying to make sense of the world, that means everything. Truth is, growing up was normally emotional for me. Mom and I would argue a lot, sometimes over little things, sometimes over things we didn't know how to handle. And when you're young and you don't have an outlet, those fights feel heavy. They take up space in your body. One day after a huge blow up with my mom, I remember just sitting against a wall. I couldn't even talk. I was just crying, and my grandmother's cat, who had just entered our lives, came into the room. She didn't rub against me or meow. She just sat there quietly, presently, eyes locked on me like she knew. And in that moment, I felt seen in a way no one else could have offered me. She didn't need to explain. She didn't need me to explain myself. She didn't get uncomfortable. She just witnessed me. And that moment will forever be branded in my heart. And I think so many of us have those stories because animals don't need to understand your trauma to hold it. I live with bipolar disorder. Some days I'm up, like manically up, or some days I just fall down into silence. I may also have a personality disorder, but I'm still figuring that part out. Diagnosis or not, these thoughts are real. The highs, the lows, spirals, the overstimulation. It can be a lot to carry, and even harder to share with people who can't understand mental health. But my fur babies, they've never looked at me like I was too much. They've never pulled away. They've never needed me to be better or to act normal. You know, my dog Chloe has this uncanny ability to sense when I'm unraveling. She doesn't panic. She doesn't try to fix me. She just stays close. Sometimes she just lays on me with all her weight and she's like, I'm here, Mom. And honestly, sometimes that means more than anything a therapist or even a friend could say. Research from the Human Animal Bond Research Institute says 74% of pet owners said their mental health improved after getting a pet. That includes people with depression, anxiety, PTSD, or bipolar disorder. And nearly 8 in 10 people with mental health challenges say their pets feel like an emotional support system, which just proves to me that there is something special about their presence. They are very stabilizing. Just petting a cat or a dog has been shown to lower stress hormones and increase serotonin. There's actual science behind the calm they bring. And I think that's what makes it even more beautiful. is that animals love without preconditions. They don't need you to explain why you're crying. They don't need you to shrink. They don't need you to say things like, "You're too sensitive." They just love you as you are. One of the best 9 to 5s I've ever worked has been a doggy daycare. Work is stressful no matter what job you have, but working at this daycare gave me peace, even when things were hectic. I think we're drawn to animals because they let us exist in our rawest form. We don't have to put on a face for our pets. You don't need a filter. You don't need to be funny or insightful or impressive. You can sit butt ass naked on the couch and they're not going to care. You can be you. So, yes, I'm a total pet mom. When people say dogs are men's best friend, I don't think it's just dogs. I think it could be any animal because they're all loyal. I think it's because they give us permission to feel again, to be vulnerable, to trust. And in a world where most of us are judged or overlooked, that feeling of trust is sacred. So maybe this episode isn't about animals. Maybe it's about healing. Maybe it's about the deep soul level friendships we never expected. If you have a pet, go cuddle them today. And if you don't, consider looking into fostering one. It will do wonders for your mental health. Or even spend a few moments outside just watching the way animals move, how they love, how they exist. And if you've ever felt like your emotions were too much or your diagnosis made you unlovable, please know this: you are love. And your animals knew that from the start. My 3 fur babies sure did. And before I let you go, I want to leave you with 3 things. Just a few little gems that remind me of this topic and the way animals love us. The quote of the episode is by George Eliot. Animals are such agreeable friends. They ask no questions, they pass no criticisms. The movie of the episode is a good one. I always think about it when it comes to this kind of connection. How to Train Your Dragon. I know, but if you know that bond between Hiccup and Toothless, it'll make you cry, seriously. That's what it feels like when you and your animal just get each other. And the song of the episode is Old Blue by Jim Nabors. Now this song is really goofy, it's very unserious, but he sings about the love he had for his dog and the joy it brought him. So give it a listen if you're in need of a good laugh. So until next time, take care of your spirit, pet your cat, hug a cow, let softness find you. And hey, who told you I fell? 'Cause I'm still standing.